This is a framework I've created called CreateADUsers. If you haven't been able to tell, the AD stands for Active Directory. CreateADUsers is a pretty powerful framework using Python and PowerShell. And what it does is it allows you to bulk create random new users with all the profile data that you need and then import them into an Active Directory environment. There's quite a few scenarios where I find that this would be very useful. Number one, if you are a homelaber and you're looking to upgrade your sysadmin skills, you'll be able to create new users in an Active Directory domain, import them, and then start playing around and doing labs. The other scenario where I feel like this would be heavily used is in a software development and software QA environment. So if you're developing software or testing software against Active Directory and your software utilizes some form of these Windows services, you'll be able to spin up an Active Directory environment and import a lot of users really quickly. Another scenario where it seems to be the most obvious is an IT department. If you are working on new group policies or you are working on new configurations that'll be pushed out through Active Directory, what you can do is you can spin up a test environment and then import a bunch of these users and then test your group policies and various other configurations that you're doing in a test environment. And then once you have the service or GPO completely, honed in and perfect, you're now ready to take that to a production environment and then be able to deploy that. Let's go over to a fresh Windows Server VM that's set up as a domain controller. And what you can see on the desktop, I've already downloaded the repository here. Here's my create user script. And then here is the add users PowerShell script. We can see that this is set up as an Active Directory domain controller. That's my domain name, test.com. And this is the domain controller I'm currently working on. Under users, we only have two users that are actually created, which is administrator and guest, which looks like it's disabled. Over in my PowerShell window, I'm already under the directory where the repository is downloaded. Let's take a look. Perfect. Let's run the Python script to create users. And this script takes an integer for the number of random users you're going to actually create. Let's say we're going to create 10. Take a look at your directory. We have randomusers.csv. If we were to go over to our directory here, we can look at the file that's created. And you can see here are all the random users and their data that's being imported. We've generated account names, email addresses, departments, city, state, all that sort of information. And we're even going a little bit further and we're generating passwords for these users. So we're at the point right now where we can start importing these users. Let's start using the add users script. The CSV path is something that should be imported. And of course, we need to pass the domain name test.com to it. Let's run this. So one of the users wasn't imported onto that. No big deal, because I'm just bulk creating users and I just want data into there. Let's take a look and refresh here. And you can see that I've created a whole bunch of users. Let's take a look at Amanda. And we have a random description, office, email address, and all the other valuable information. We can tell here under here is that she's working out of our London office. And of course, we have all the other information that we need to start managing all the users under here. Another thing that CreateUsers.py does is that it creates randomly disabled and enabled users. And this kind of comes in handy when you're actually starting to do other sort of labs and seeing where you can pull information off of these users.